All right, Corey, thanks so much. We're joined once again with Greg Remmenga for some more free legal advice. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Today we're talking about the business side of some liability issues that can come along with that for injuries at the workplace.
Well, the issue is businesses do not guarantee the safety of people when they come into the business.
Sure.
The business is supposed to use its reasonable efforts, its reasonable standard care, do the things that a reasonable business should do, but that is not a guarantee that the person won't be injured.
Right.
You would still have to prove, if you're injured at a business, that there was a dangerous condition that the business knew about or should have known about, and that they failed to correct it. For example, we all know that if you go to a bowling alley, you're going to be using a bowling ball. If the bowling ball falls on your foot, how is the business responsible for the bowling ball hitting your foot? What did the business do? I acknowledge that lots of times we get injuries and we have accidents, we have food illnesses, those types of things when you go into a business. But the issue isn't whether you got hurt, it's what did the business not do that was a dangerous condition
To prevent that from happening.
to prevent it from happening.
Okay.
I've had several calls about food issues. If it's an ingredient that is known to be in the food and you get sick or you choke on it, what is the responsibility of business for that issue? Maybe they didn't cut it up small enough for you, but that's not a dangerous condition they knew or should have known about.
Right.
That is a common risk of that type of food.
Right. So,
Going to a bowling alley, going to some event. If it's a common issue at the event, what did the business do wrong to cause the accident?
so is this very much based on the business? Are there certain guidelines that businesses have to follow? I know there's a million examples that you could pick from, but...
Well, in general, the guidelines the business needs to follow is the standard safety, for example, the health codes,
Sure.
those types of things, the walkways, how high is your step? It's supposed to be a standard height, but the main thing is we have to prove that the business knew the step wasn't the correct height and failed to do anything, that the business did something wrong, that there's a spill that they didn't clean up after they knew about it or should have known about it. So it still goes back to no matter what the standard is, what did the business do wrong, not the fact that you were injured.
Right. Now, real quick here, is there a difference between the business knowing there was something wrong and not fixing it, and the business not knowing and there was still something wrong? Is there a legal difference?
Because the standard is there's a dangerous condition the business knew or should have known about and failed to correct.
Okay.
So a quick spill. If there's a spill on the ground that's been there for 30 seconds, how did the business know about it?
Right.
If it's been there for 2 hours, they should have known about it.
Okay, very good. So there is a big difference there between knowing and the not knowing. Absolutely. All right, thanks so much for joining us once again, Greg. If you have any questions for Greg, feel free to give him a call at that number right there on your screen. We'll be right back.
If you want Greg to answer one of your legal questions, visit KREXTV.com, click on Live in the Studio, and submit your question on the right side of the screen. Watch Greg's segment every Wednesday on News Channel 5 at noon.